Charlie Brown, presented by Kraft Foods.
I want to welcome all of you here to CartoonChat. This is our animation conversation here on ScreenBlast. If you don't know already, we've covered things from The Incredibles to Kolaski Scoopo's Duckman to Disney's Atlantis. So if you like cartoon conversations like what we're about to have here, make sure to subscribe. Now, with me today is a man that's pretty much always going to be my co-host for CartoonChat. A man that you could say has quite a bit animated himself and is suffering from the holiday season always. Oh, Jesus God! What's your name and where'd you come from? I don't know this man.
Cotton Eye Joe. Nobody knows where I come from. Nobody knows where I go. Canine Biscuits.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Man, you know, isn't it crazy how fast the year has gone by? This is, it's crazy, man. We're running through, you know. Yeah.
That's what happens when you get old. You can feel more your tummy, like, going away. When you're a kid, like, days go on forever, especially school years.
Oh, Jesus. I remember
especially, like, you don't know.
School days, when you're sitting in that classroom and you're just waiting for the clock to tick by, yet it feels like it hasn't moved in 10 minutes, 2 hours maybe. It feels like that clock has moved like an inch.
And on your mind, all you know is, like, you got infinite years of this. Like, you're... Like, I know a lot of kids, like, school is meant to teach you for your future, so you can be a tool in society for your future. But kids aren't thinking about the future. They're like, they have ideas for what they could be in the future, but, like, they don't... Like, once you graduate from high school, reality just smacks you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you start to feel time flow. Especially when you, like, don't have anything on your plate.
No, I think it's, you know, when people say, like, man, they should have taught us taxes. It's like, you guys wouldn't have listened. We wouldn't have listened if they taught us taxes in fucking high school. And 1 out of 20 people would have cared about taxes in high school. All right, like when you're an adult and you actually have to fucking do it, then you care. Actually, you don't even care that much because you get TurboTax, you get it done, you move on. You don't care that much. You just want to get it over.
Or you get a tax guy.
You know, or you get a tax guy.
I got a tax guy.
Right, like, so we don't actually care that much. We're just trying to get through that time of year. And the thing about this time of year is it rolls into that holiday season. We're right on the precipice. We just got through school, or we're you know, the school year started. The autumn leaves are changing. The world is on a new corner, and you know, it's a new time. You know, we're about to get into the jolly points, but we're not there yet. So you know, yeah, it's Halloween time.
Whoa, Millhouse, that frozen black cherry's turned your tongue black. My tongue's black too.
Ooh, let me try.
Hey,
Must have black tongue.
This Halloween, the Simpsons are at Burger King. Now in every big kid's meal you can get a Simpsons spooky light up. They gleam, there is Scream, and you can collect all 15 at Burger King. Where else?
Okay, so the candy question is literally simple. In your Halloween history, what's the best candy you've gotten in your Halloween history? I remember way back, by the way, my best Halloween candy had to be a pack. Like, a person was giving out the dollar store packs, where it's like, you know,
that doesn't count.
You don't get the 8-pack.
That's multiple candies.
Yeah, it was like a pack though.
Okay, then yeah, find the packs. That's like the easiest one.
That's amazing.
I thought you said, like, choose your candy.
All right, fine. I'll reset. Choose your candy.
Yeah, that's like,
choose your candy.
Like, what's your favorite? Like, what's your favorite bills? A stack of them. There we go. Yeah, I love stacks of bills.
But a 20 is 21 singular into 120, right?
Yeah. Well, like, my favorite candy to get in my Halloween basket is Fun Dip. It's like 2-in-1. Like, you get, like, it's great.
Is that the one you stick into the sugar?
Into a sugar powder, yes.
That diabetic mega adventure?
You're talking about diabetic when you ask a question about fucking candy.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all diabetic.
I mean, nothing like that.
It's a bland fucking rod of It's just a rod of sugar.
You might as well be tasting plastic. That thing is terrible. That one rod you get, and then you have to put sugar on it.
Yeah, because the sugar's good.
The sugar's good. Yeah,
you just
of course.
Munch on the rod, like wow, that sound. Don't take that clip out of context, folks. Mm-hmm. But like you just like fucking munch on like the candy stick. What? This
is all gonna get memed.
Yeah. But like, yeah, you just munch on a candy stick, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
I like it's fun to dip. Cause like you're not gonna, cause like a better version of it is a baby bottle pop. You ain't gonna get one of those in your fucking bag.
Baby bottle pop.
Baby bottle pop brings out the baby in you.
Looks like you can use another one.
Oh my gosh, that's so ancient. I haven't seen baby bottle pops since.
I think they still sell them.
I'm sure they do, but those things used to be so popular in like the 2000s.
Same thing. Ring pops.
Yeah.
I fucking hated ring pops. The concept because like, you get this like you have this like fucking sticky orb, like weighted on your fucking finger.
Yes.
It looks cool. It sounds cool, but like it's like
in practice
you can't you can't really. The back of your hand can't touch anything else, or else it ruins the lollipop.
Well,
like one time I think got like I was careless and I had left a ring pop in my finger. And it got, like, little hair on it, and like, what the fuck? Ah, shit.
That is the one thing. It's literally a bacterial nightmare, because you're traveling with this. It's a ring. It's exposed. Like, it's not like chocolate, where it's like, alright, it's still in its wrapping or whatever. Like, no, this is exposed to the hazards. And you gotta deal with it. It's on a ring. That's weird.
Shout outs to all the husbands who propose to their wives with a ring pop.
Yeah.
That's romantic. That's fucking romantic right there.
Yeah, totally. Were you a candy corn guy, by the way? There's not a lot of people that like candy corn. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
I'm fine with it. I can just munch on it. It's just sugar.
Yeah.
In another form. It doesn't taste bad to me. Too much does hurt my teeth though. For some reason there's like types of sugars that'll be sensitive to teeth.
Yeah.
Like that for some reason candy corn is a type of sugar that is like my teeth are sensitive to if I have too much of it. Or if it gets like stuck in a weird place.
Oh, if it gets... I hate when... Yeah, if it gets stuck and then it's just there. Oh, man. That's the worst.
It's Halloween time, my frightful fiends. And Disneyland is ours! Going down!
With Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy and the all-new World of Color, Halloween time at the Disneyland Resort is wicked fun for everyone. Visit Disneyland.com/Halloween.
Trick or treat!
King-size Reese's. I think there's nothing better on a fall day.
Alright, that's also cheating. Like, you get like fucking... When do you get fucking king-size shit in your fucking bag?
What do you mean, when do you? Fine, just the Reese's.
Because, like, I don't know what you... Oh, yeah, you live in a fucking rich-ass neighborhood.
I do not live
with the fucking what?
Alright, these people... Alright, just to make sure you guys understand. This man does not... This man's from... What are you, from Connecticut? What the fuck are you talking about?
I grew up in Bitchport, Connecticut, but I don't remember shit from there. Most of my life is in Baltimore.
You're talking about me in not even the suburbs of Baltimore, in Baltimore City still, and he's like, yeah, you live in a rich neighborhood. No, I live in a middle-class neighborhood that was solid enough and nice enough that people would hand out candy, and sometimes you get the full-size candy bar, or sometimes you get the full-size... Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you live in a nice neighborhood. I live in the fucking
that's a
ghettos.
nice, not like, that doesn't mean like super luxurious, but it's a nice neighborhood. Yeah, it's a nice neighborhood.
My parents had us living in the goddamn ghettos. Like, you just get fun size shit.
Well, if we're choosing fun size, then I'd probably say a cookies and cream Hershey's, one of the, the rectangle.
And something I should have, as an adult, I appreciate now that I didn't appreciate when I was a kid. It's like, you get like the tiny little packs of, it's like a tiny little toothbrush and a tiny little toothpaste.
Oh, fuck those people. What are you talking about? Fuck them. Get out of here. No.
I would say that when I was a kid, but now I was like, oh yeah, they're looking out for our
If
teeth.
I need to get a toothbrush or toothpaste, alright, I know some people can't do that, and maybe you're a kid and you need it, and you're out of luck. But, come on, if you're a kid...
As an adult now, I respect it, because it's
I
like,
don't respect that. It's Halloween. That's like giving a kid a fucking...
But those little packs have to be more expensive, too.
They're $1. They're Dollar Tree. What the fuck are you talking about?
Probably per little thing.
I know you're joking about this. I know this isn't real. I know you're making this up, but like...
No. There's houses that actually give those out.
No, I know that happens, but there's no way you're actually defending these people.
No, in hindsight, yes.
Dude.
Because they actually took the trouble, they're like, help.
The trouble.
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
Because, like, they know you're getting candy from other houses, so it's like, fuck it, let me just throw a toothbrush and toothpaste in there. Just like, you're probably not going to use that specific one, but it's just like a reminder, hey, brush your teeth.
This is atrocious. I can't believe it.
What the fuck? Why are you offended?
Why am I offended? Dude, that's terrible. That is absolutely horrific, dude. That's
Wait, how's it horrific? Go ahead, tell me.
That's the equivalent.
And for a kid, it is. In hindsight, as an adult looking at it, it's like, okay, that's
because it is not. Halloween is not Mr. Dental time. All right, it is not. I'm gonna give a kid a piece of broccoli, and I'm gonna be the special adult that gives the kids that are trick or treating some fucking broccoli because I want to be special and be healthy, or medically safe. Fuck you! It's Halloween. These kids want candy. Give them candy. That's the whole point. It's trick or treat. It is not trick or dental. It is trick or treat. Don't fuck around. Stop being an asshole. If I'm an adult, I can walk into a fucking dentist's office and say, "Hey, my kid needs one of those toothpaste packs." You're giving them out for fucking all the time. By the way, dentists are even respectful because on Halloween, usually they'll give them fucking lollipops. And yet you're the asshole giving kids fucking toothbrushes? Fuck.
Oh, the dentals do that because they already had those lollipops in their cabinet.
Yes.
There's
yes, they had them, but at least they're being nice about it. Like, all right, I'll fucking do it. I'll give these kids some fucking, it's like, I can't. No, man. Oi, you're being. I understand it's time of merry cheerness and shit, but no, those people are the ones.
I think the message is like just brush your teeth at the end of the day. That's it.
It is. I'm overdoing it. Let me calm down. It is hot. It is around the season. It is the season of Halloween. All I'm saying is give kids give them fucking candy. Give them some. It's fun. It's fun. They're about to go back to school. They're not going to get another time off until Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving you get food, but sometimes you don't get, you don't get candy sometimes during Thanksgiving, and then you have to wait, and then Christmas. You
get fucking dessert.
Let this be all I'm saying is let this be a merry time for, let this be a merry time for these kids, man. Like let's not make this the medical industry fucking center. Like let's fuck off. All right, that's not the time for.
Okay, if you're doing it in a small neighborhood, sure, but like if you're doing it in a big neighborhood, they know those kids they know they're getting candy. They know they're getting plenty of candy. They're getting.
And they should get more. They should get more, dude. There was one year. There was one year where I dressed up like a firefighter. I had my wagon. I used to have a wagon, and I put a covering that made it look like a fucking fire engine. And then in the middle, I had a whole, the entire wagon basin was basically the bucket. So whenever I would get candy, and we went a long stretch, probably the longest stretch, and just filled it up to the brim. And guess what? It was all candy because people were fucking nice. And it's not fucking time for medical shit. Alright, Mark, Mr. Dentist Man, you're gonna give fucking kids fucking,
healthy. No, you're gonna get kids fucking healthy.
Hey, they can still brush their teeth. I'm not saying they can't.
Yeah, that's a reminder. Well, I threw that shit away when I was a kid.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in hindsight. It's like, oh, fuck. They they went to the trouble to actually get because I'm pretty sure those packs of little toothbrushes and a little toothpaste is a little bit more pricier than fun size candies.
Yeah, you're spending way too much money on it. What's the worst candy you think? Because I think those now. I think I used to get
sugar daddies.
I used to get way too many now and laters.
Sugar daddies.
Sugar daddies. Yeah, they're awful. They're like the elderly treat. It's like, what are we doing? I want to have fun. Why are we getting,
just sugar daddies. I never liked sugar daddies.
Did you get now and laters? My problem with now and laters is not that they're a bad product. It's that they get stuck with the paper, and because they've been sitting for so long, they got stuck in the paper. They were the worst.
Well, that's Laffy Taffies too.
Yeah. I would say Laffy Taffy's usually opened better than now and laters. Now and laters are just.
Laffy Taffies have that problem a lot though.
Yeah.
It depends, but I don't really have a problem with now and laters. So getting stuck to the wrapper is a problem with certain taffy candies in general. The only one that doesn't have a problem with that is Airheads. That's the only taffy candy that doesn't have that problem. But now and laters definitely have that problem more than often, a lot too. So Laffy Taffies. I mean, they have that problem often too. I mean, maybe they have a better ratio, but not by much. In terms of taffy candies, I don't have a problem. But they're not only is a release every taffy candy, but they're not bad. I still eat them. I still get them from I used to get them from the fucking grocery store when they were 25 cents per thing.
Okay. Back in that day, oh man, that was cool.
Now they're 50 cents, and
it's a bit All right, we're going to take a quick break, guys, and we will be back.
On All Hallows Eve, Adult Swim brings out the dead. For on that night, an unholy parade of doomed Adult Swim shows will drag their canceled corpses from the black hole of our stankiest vaults. Watch as grotesque failed pilots unleash their unspeakable horrors. It's animation. Reanimated. Halloween night, beginning at 11 on Adult Swim.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about Peanuts here. So, I, honestly, if you don't already know, guys, Peanuts is not as influential now, but it definitely was one of the most influential comics of the 20th century.
What do you mean? It still is.
It still is.
There's
if you're talking to kids now that are driven by TikTok, come on.
I mean, you can say that about any old cartoon, but
in terms of
its DNA still.
This thing was so valuable from 1950 all the way to 2010.
I know, but its DNA is still still in modern cartoons today.
Oh,
definitely. It gets references, so I'd say it's still now. I mean, you can say. I mean, again, you can say
less
that
than
any
it was,
old,
but sure.
You can say that to every cartoon that belongs to any generation that's not now.
I mean, I think you're reaching, but
what?
Because for instance, right, a 1930s black and white movie probably was more influential to Star Wars in the 70s, but not as influential to things from the 90s into now. They had a time period where they were influential, but it's kind of faded as time went on, just because of the nature of things becoming, more sort of revolutionary, things taking hold, more valuable things becoming sort of the mainstream.
Okay, well, there's some forgotten IPs, but this one is the DNA in this one is definitely still in a lot of cartoons, and I think it still does touch its children. I think children still know of Peanuts, and if not Peanuts, they know Snoopy and Charlie Brown.
They definitely do. I agree with that. I
don't think it's lost to time, even as of right now.
Again, I think less so now. One of the things we'll bring up later is the fact that Apple TV now has exclusivity to it, which I think takes a huge chunk, a massive chunk out of its sort of value in the American household and the worldwide household overall, just because it loses that spotlight that it usually would get. But this what's up?
Can I tell you why it's not reaching to a lot of children? Well, besides exclusivity, nobody's stuck with cable anymore.
Well, it's not even cable; it's just regular TV.
I know, but that was a big thing because when we used to watch cable, they would because the main specials, the core specials, were absolute hits.
Yes,
and they would make sure they air them every year or often, so you would not miss the special ever. And back then we had cable and it would just be on. Now kids have too much choice. Even when they have cable, it's they have on demand. They don't have to watch. They don't have to watch outdated shit that doesn't fill up their whole fucking widescreen. Who wants this 4x3 aspect ratio shit anymore? No one. It's not with anybody anymore. So that goes for a lot of old specials too. But cable was a huge thing for it, I'd say.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was a run between when this came out in 1966 all the way through when it ran on CBS originally, and through, of course, then it jumped over to ABC in, I believe, the late 90s and early 2000s. And then obviously it also was extended into, like you said, through just re-airings on cable networks, but through that time span, that's where you really got the outreach, its major outreach, beyond the fact that it was on those national networks. And when you then put it on ABC, and we'll talk more about that later, I mean, when you put it on Apple TV exclusively, you lose a significant chunk of people that this will become available for, even if you make it free for audiences at one point in time or another. I do want to move on and jump into it, but just a little Cliff Notes thing here. Obviously created by Charles Schulz. This was started in 1950. It just got very wide, got massive appeal through the mid-50s. It ran all the way through Schultz's death in the year 2000. I thought I had my display up here. I don't. There we go. And overall, the key thing that makes this magical is it's a children's slice of life. It not only connects with younger audiences, but through its witty writing, its dialogue, it really does just work with older audiences as well. It deals with, obviously, life's daily dilemmas, and it just has very well-defined characters. Now, if we're talking about Charlie Brown overall, obviously we will get to this point. later. But what's up?
I think I just find it funny that Schultz hates that it's called Peanuts. I think they were called Peanuts because they were part of something called a Peanut. Like, the comic strip was part of something called a Peanut Gallery. But I forgot how the name stayed. Yeah. But even till his deathbed, he hates the names Peanuts. And that's why, because he was on every special until his death. He was on the writing staff. He was just on staff in general for every special until his death. And like the specials he worked on, he made sure they were like called something Charlie Brown and not Peanuts. It's kind of a irony that like they stuck to name Peanuts, and like the grand movie that came out, the Peanuts movie, still has Peanuts in it.
Yes, indeed. I think that at that point that was because the right owners wanted to go for Peanuts at that point. Yep. Unfortunately, he lost that after he died in 2000. Before we get to the key point, just want to make sure you guys do know we will talk about this probably in future episodes, whether this year, next year, when time flies. But
yeah, because I was always confused why it was called Peanuts. Because like it has nothing to do with peanuts. These are not anthropomorphic peanuts. Because my exposure to like this franchise is like, the special shorts like something Charlie Brown, something Charlie Brown. I found out the name Peanuts like later.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, same thing here. I thought originally before watching this, I originally thought that that this was. I thought that Peanuts was the name that would be preferable, and that studios or these TV networks were the ones that were leaning on Charlie Brown at first. And then I realized, yeah, this was him. He wanted it to center more around the naming of Charlie Brown itself. He did not want it to be Peanuts. So moving on though, again, like I was leading to, now when you talk about specials, you do have to bring up the fact that obviously, and we will get here at some point in time, but Charlie Brown Christmas walked so that the Great Pumpkin and obviously successors could run. This first one was produced on a tight budget. It was completed only 10 days before its air date. It was expected to be a failure because it didn't have a laugh track like other animated shows of the time. But it actually became so beloved, it hopped into being this holiday television tradition, whereas a bunch of other animated shows at the time and specials at the time obviously kind of failed and just fell on their face just because of the nature in which Schultz and the directors designed this episode. But there were two, this Charlie Brown Christmas, and there was, I believe, the Charlie Brown All-Stars. After that, a more sport-related special before we get to the Great Pumpkin, which
and they all came out like under a year from each other.
Yes, it was a tight run. This was like when you talk about like the Lego Movie, when we talked about a few years back, like they're really putting these back to back to back. It's like this was back to back to back because the Christmas special was 65. This was 66. The Great Pumpkin was written by Charles Schultz. It was directed by Bill Melendez. It was produced by Lee Mendelson. The soundtrack was Vince Guaraldi and a sextet. And by the way, the budget for this was $76,000. Very tight. Very always capped on it.
Did you estimate that for inflation?
I was going to ask you, how much do you think? Do you think that's a lot of money for inflation? How much do you think that is now? Give me a rough number. Yeah.
$2.
Above or below $10 million?
$2.
All right, legitimately.
Buy $1.
All right, I'm just gonna fuck it. It's $740,000 now, so it still would be a tight budgeted show even now if you adjust for inflation. You know what I mean? Like that's it's it's money, but it's not like you think about like how many shows go over $1 million. You look at all the streaming shows that run over $1 million. How many things cost over $1 million now? This was produced, if you adjust for inflation, under $1 million. So again, very, very.
Well, TV animation wasn't given like too much budget around this era anyway.
Right.
It's like more like
squeeze in.
Yeah, the
squeeze in.
Oh,
there you go.
No, I just have to lean this way.
Yeah.
But like the animation with the best budget stuff meant for like theatrical stuff, and like I'm not talking about animated movies. I'm like just like Looney Tunes, like the theatrical Looney Tunes shorts. Same thing with Tom and Jerry. Like, those are theatrical. So, like, TV stuff still wasn't worthy of, like, a decent budget anyway.
Right. Yeah,
but, like, this is... They made the most... Yeah, like you said, they made the most out of, like, the little budget they had.
Absolutely. This was October 1966. It aired nationally on CBS. And by the way, people don't realize this was the first major Halloween special that sort of hit TVs. There we go. That hit TVs. It also, because of its value on TV, it actually increased interest and involvement nationally in Halloween. So this actually got people involved very much in Halloween, whereas before it was in select areas. So it really became a bigger deal after this movie, or this. I keep saying movie special. It's only a 24-minute runtime, which is very impressive, very tight. Obviously,
22.
For TV, 22. My apologies. 22-minute runtime, very impressive, very tight, and very easy to watch, very approachable for all ages. And overall, the point of this is it's simple. You know, this is just the Peanuts gang that you've seen before. They're celebrating Halloween, and they're celebrating it in different ways. Mark, what did you think of this special?
I mean, because this is our first talk about Peanuts, like, I'll just get to what I like about the Peanut specials as a whole, because they kind of blend in for a bit, because like we'll probably cover the Christmas one next year, because you do not cover Peanut specials back to back; they just blend in with each other. But what I like about the Peanut stuff is like they're very slow paced. Just like there's no laugh track, they just let the dead air settle. You can like if you watch them, you can still hear like the hiss from like from what it sounds like the recording, and you can hear like the acoustics or like the echo back from the empty room the kids are talking in.
Right.
But like that's also a charm to it. It's
absolutely.
It is like a slow paced comic strip in most scenes. And like it's a fun low stakes animation. What I always enjoyed about these kids, it's like they don't act like kids. They're kids that think of themselves as adults to the point where like the adults are not a part of their lives. So like when there's an adult that has to be in a story, it's just like you don't see their faces, you don't see their bodies, you just see their legs, if that. But sometimes you don't even see them at all. And it's just like you don't even hear their voices. They're meant to be a non-entity in this world, because like every time an adult's you get the clash. Sound like a fucking horn.
Right.
And because like every time I watch these specials, I don't think I think of these as, I mean, because I know they're little kids, but I don't think of them as kids. I just think of them as characters, because Charles Schultz's writing, he makes them say like sophisticated words. I'm pretty sure like in like the takes the kids are having, they're probably like taking times and breath to read them, and they're just probably editing all that stuff together. But like these are like they feel like characters more than just watching a bunch of. It feels like you're watching a bunch of characters more than you feel like you're watching a bunch of kids.
That's a better way to represent it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Oh, you didn't have...
Yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. No, I definitely feel you on that. Like, in terms of the approach for... sorry, but I'll give you a run. There we go. Yeah, in terms of my history, what I think of... I just think that it's one of those American animated classics. You know, like anything that's... Almost anything. Because obviously the later on you go with the Peanuts or... You know, the Charlie Brown specials, you kind of get to the point where it's like, all right, not to say it never loses its magic, but it's like you only really want to think of those core holiday ones. Those core holiday ones are really the ones where you really remember, you get the nostalgia of being in a room, you know, maybe with your family, or maybe you just happen to watch it at this situation or that situation.
I mean, I argue you don't watch, even the good ones, you don't watch too many in a row. They're like, they are very slow paced, and it's like, that's the reason I'm not a fan of the Charlie Brown movies. They're fine, but like they're
not the Peanuts movie, but the Charlie Brown movies.
Charlie Brown movies, and not the
like the specials or the movie. Which one is?
like the Charlie Brown movies, like the fucking 70 minutes or longer movies, because those are very slow paced.
Right.
And like even the latest specials, like a lot of the Charlie Brown stuff they just sort of blend in, but like they're fine to watch every once in a while. I can't you can't do this in a row. No. But like they're fine to put on it. Like they're fine to put on every once in a while because like they're nice. I do like the how it's modernized and like the recent Peanuts movie, and like I've seen some of those Apple TV like cartoons they did. Like they had a Snoopy in space, and they just had a Snoopy show. Even though it's called Snoopy, it's just a Charlie Brown show because like it's focused on Snoopy with most of the cartoons, but like Charlie Brown and some of the other characters are starring in it. Okay. They're not too much in the background. They still all the characters around them are still foils for Snoopy.
Right.
So it's not just Snoopy. So it's still if you're a fan of Charlie Brown, I do recommend. I recommend the new Apple stuff. It's still good and it still feels like Charlie Brown, and it's like they are modernized. It's like they're I don't know how to describe it. It's like the pacing is not as slow and like sometimes like empty with filler like the old ones. It's just I don't know how to explain it. It's modernized.
I mean, I'm sure they are. I would hope so. The pacing just feels more fluid for the time instead of being paced in a way. Again, I think when you watch this, The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, I do think you feel, like I said, this is an American classic. This is not last year. You feel the pacing. You feel how they tell the story. It's from a different time. Their approach is completely different, but it's essentially timeless to me. Obviously, you can see the age of the art and the animation, but it's timeless in that way of you can still see these characters at any point, any time of year, not time of year, but any year. You could see this in, let's say, 2050, and you'd probably get the same sentiment that you would. You'd probably be a little lost, like you were talking about with mailboxes, but you'd probably get overall the same sentiment. Watching these kids.
I much agree because like I say the Peanuts movie should be on like the same pedestal as the same holiday pedestal as Nightmare Before Christmas, because even though the Peanuts movie is not focused on a specific holiday, it is very much like a fall movie. Like it's very fitting to watch around Christmas. It's very fitting to watch around Halloween. It's a great amalgamation of like the best bits of Charlie Brown, but still feeling new.
Yes, and getting, like you said, that nice sheen on top. Just beautiful.
That's a cartoon chat one day.
Absolutely beautiful.
Like probably next year, honestly.
Probably next year. Well, again, we'll sprinkle these throughout. We might even, I don't, like you said, that's a perfect fall movie. I will say, jumping back into The Great Pumpkin, this, when you think about the way in which the Christmas special was designed, this is much more focused on sort of 3 characters overall. You still get all of the core cast, but this is focused on 3 characters, focused on Linus. You get a little bit of Charlie Brown here and there, but it's really just Linus's approach and Snoopy. They're really the core here. And, you get some really special stuff with Snoopy. This is the special that turns him into an icon, essentially. People, before, he was there, but now, after this, apparently this was the staple, like seeing him in that World War I pilot costume. Which
I can't speak for like the All-Star Baseball because like I don't know if I watched that one. If I have, I don't remember shit from it.
Right. What I'm saying, like a lot of the history that I looked up, it's like this was the first one where Snoopy became that significant addition on top of the Peanuts cast.
Yeah. I know I've watched a lot of Charlie Brown in my lifetime, and like I said, a lot of these specials that are not the core ones just blend in.
Yeah, I don't like. It's funny because when I was looking it up, it's like it's weird that there's one that's like you didn't get voted in, Charlie Brown. It's like
you didn't vote for Biden, Charlie Brown.
There's some weird, but there's some election one. It's like, why is you're doing an election special? Come on, guys. All right, like we said before, the trio is enough for me. Like the Halloween, the Thanksgiving, and the Christmas. I'm good with that, and also the movie that came out a few years back. Those are the core for me, and maybe eventually that I'll look up the other ones and I'll start watching those. But I have no interest really because the magic is in those holiday specials, not in it's not Flag Day, Charlie Brown. You know, like,
You're drunk, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, not that robot chicken.
Don't eat the brownies, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, but yeah, Snoopy becomes. I like what they do. Like in terms of talking about the characters that really shine here. You know, it's funny because again, like you know, like I just love these characters. You know, like the key here is that Linus believes in this great pumpkin who he really just turned. Like really, he's really clearly just inspired by Santa Claus.
Oh
but
yeah.
He believes in this.
Yeah, that's a
you know. And I don't know if it's a metaphor. I mean, it could. It's
no.
Like,
it's literally Charles Soulch's message. Like he's trying to the point of the special is to like. What is the word? A metaphor for the idea of like how kids believe in Santa Claus.
Ah, okay. I got you.
Because he didn't.
He's interpreting that
Yes.
that style of how they blindly believe in this.
How silly
this being that's just hilarious. Like, let's say it was during Halloween. Like, how would you interpret that? Well, the Great Pumpkin, and that looks goofy when you think about it at the surface level.
Yeah, because it's him like putting commentary on how the idea of kids believing in Santa Claus is silly.
Yeah.
Because I know because he didn't want the Christmas shows to have anything to do with Santa Claus because a lot of Christmas shows were doing at the time. Because like especially like a lot of Christmas specials like either end or begin with like Santa on his like sleigh in the background. Whoa!
Which is what also again makes the Christmas special all the more sort of timeless because it takes that different approach. You know, which makes it all the more special. But yeah, Linus believes in the Great Pumpkin. You know, he gets Sally, Charlie Brown's sister, to join him. The pumpkin obviously never shows up, and he's just in the situation where he's just looking goofy. You know, everyone's like, hey, you just stayed out here all night. We went trick-or-treating. Most of the people went every other person except for him and Sally go trick-or-treating, and he's looking pretty goofy. At least that's his side of the story. You know, that's his situation. There's every the core characters, like I said, are Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and Linus. You know, and you get Linus's sister who's involved, Lucy, but overall it's those three. And yeah, Charlie Brown's sister. What?
Wait, no.
No. Charlie Brown's sister is Sally.
Okay, I get the names mixed up.
Linus's sister.
I got the names mixed up. It's been a while.
Yeah, but yeah, Sally, infatuated with him, joins him just because it's like, oh, all right, whatever. But yeah, no, Lucy helps him back, gets him back in. Like, you goofball. All right, 4 a.m. All right, you're ridiculous. There's no fucking Grand Pumpkin. Yeah, funny enough.
Yeah, because I now remember because that's the name of like one of the most iconic songs. It's literally just called Linus and Lucy.
Yeah, the like Charlie Brown though, you know, again, it's not really all his special. It's like, you know,
it's not,
and it's great, like because again, you get to focus on these other characters, and I love the fact that like, you know, there's a couple key things that he's still involved with, like he goes trick or treating. We've all been there where it's like you mess up your costume or something's a little bit off about your costume. It's like, what can you do? It is what it is, you know. And he's walking around and he does the trick-or-treating, and every time, I got a rock. It's like, oh, that's so mean. That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, well, like, that's another thing I like about, like, Charlie Brown, that, like, it's not, like, the story themselves is not nice to these kids, and, like, it doesn't treat, like, these kids as, like, all the time as, like, a moral right. Like, they're just, like, they still can be just, like, dicks to each other, or dicks to Charlie Brown, but like Charlie Brown is just a screw up, and he just can't win. But like that's the realistic aspect of it, and that's like what's enjoyable to watch.
Yes.
Again, we've been saying like there's a lot of cartoons that has his DNA, that has Charlie Brown's like DNA all over it. A major one that's like I think about a lot is Ed, Edd n Eddy. That has a lot of Charlie Brown. That has a lot of Charlie Brown DNA to the point of like the adults are just
not there.
Are a non-existent entity to the stories.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like in terms of the modern interpretation, that's the most recent big interpretation I can think of is like you said, Ed, Edd n Eddy. Yeah, man. But yeah, Charlie Brown trying to be helpful. It's like or just not helpful, but just the world coming down on him. It's like he's trying to be nice to Linus at the end. And he says, like, yeah, I've done stupid things in my life, too. And then he has to hear Linus say, I'm not stupid, and he has to hear through the whole credit run. Like,
Charlie Brown and Linus are usually buddy-buddy.
Yeah.
But, like, in this special, even Charlie Brown doesn't even have his back on this one. He finds the Great Punk and stuff crazy. Like, even his sister Sally is, like, coming up on Linus, and Charlie Brown's just taking back his sister, like, what are you feeding her?
Right.
I can always see, like, Charlie Brown is just, like, upset that he fucking wrecked his leaves pile. Because when he's raking the leaves, Linus just jumps in it.
Yep.
And Charlie Brown, like, fucking piece of shit, took me all day!
Like, you douchebag, what have you done? God. Yeah, man, I think the most interesting part, obviously, like I said, is Snoopy. And funny enough, with Snoopy, it just starts out with him having a World War I pilot costume, you know. It's like, he's a pilot, that is what it is. And then, like, he goes outside, and you see him leave, and it's like, alright, whatever he's doing. And he goes, and he sits on top of his doghouse, and it starts this great, interesting flying ace experience, basically, for the audience.
I forgot how long this goes on, but this is definitely like,
it's like a third of the runtime, I believe.
Yeah, this is definitely Charles Schultz venting his experience in war.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's what these Red Baron things are. Because he had I don't know what war he was a part in, but he's definitely like a war veteran, and like he vents all this stuff through like Snoopy, these like Red Baron sections with Snoopy.
Yeah, I don't know if he was in World War I, because World War I was 1914 to 18, and obviously Peanuts became a mainstay or creation in 1950. This special 1965, so he would already be in his 80s by that point, and then obviously he dies in 2000. I don't know, but I need to research that. The key is that by the point of this movie coming out, or the special coming out in 1966, World War I was only 50 years earlier. So there were still veterans of World War I. There were still veterans of World War I. The stories were more recent in history. Very much in the way that we think of World War II right now. You know, like, oh, it's a thing that happened, or maybe World War II is even so far away now that it's not as recent as World War I was during this special. That there were still surviving members. There's very few surviving members of World War II anymore, even. And there definitely are no surviving members of World War I in the present. But in terms of right now, I guess the Korean War would probably be maybe the closest thing, like in terms of time period. But just if you imagine that idea of like, all right, you're just going to use that as the backdrop. I like that idea. But it's an imaginative thing that actually has seriousness to it at its basis, but is used in this immersive way for the audience in reality for this special, I like what they do with Snoopy here, and again, like, it just makes him much more of an interesting character that you can use. Which is you put him in a pilot seat, you make him super cool.
What was interesting is like because I think from what I heard, I haven't found them, but like in some of the older comics, Snoopy used to talk. I mean, not talk, but he had like thought bubbles, so he would kind of have
actual thought bubbles.
He would actually have a Garfield thing going on. He would actually have like a sophisticated voice.
Interesting.
And it's not like an adaptation thing where he lost it. I think this is like, because Charles Schultz has been on all these specials, it was, I guess, Charles Schultz's decision to like make him like a silent character in these specials.
Let's highlight the kids as characters. Let's not highlight the dog. We don't want to make it so weird where the dog's also talking to the kids.
Possibly.
Maybe that's the case. We want to still make it as we still want to make it as Americana, but not so out of the way. Like, it's so fictional that it's a dog talking a human. You know.
Well, the dog still does some wacky shit.
He does. He also still goes to. And so it's it's like you're in.
I mean, dogs don't make that sound either.
Dogs don't make that sound. They don't.
If my dog made that sound, I'd be
a little
concerned.
confused. Yes, I'd be confused as well. Yeah, and I think overall though this was a great special. You know, there was, by the way, there's a moment before we get to the overall, just tying this in a bow, wrapping it up and giving it out as a trick or treat. There's a funny moment where Snoopy's just like emotionally tied to what Schroeder is playing on the piano. I think that's a really sort of adorable moment. And you said, funny enough, something that I think was like very like truly real if people are aware enough and they do this in an edit eventually. They haven't been done in an edit, but it's clearly
he's doing like a TikTok react pretty much.
Yeah, they're doing it TikTok, and it's one of those things where if you instead it's side to side obviously because he's playing the piano on the left and then on the right.
If you
stacked it, you got
you either stacked it like vertically or horizontally, just like and make it like a portrait, and make it like a portrait version of it. You got TikTok right there.
Yeah, man. It's but yeah, I just love his how he's like, all right, look at this fun music, having fun, and then he starts playing something a little more dour, and it's like, what are you doing? Why are you making me this? Oh, he's just like, just a funny little moment with a character that we all kind of dig, and yeah, man, I think
you're not gonna talk about the most iconic gag here.
Throw it on the audience if you've got an iconic gag.
That's for 20 years of humiliation, bitch. The fucking football.
Yeah, I mean, because that was obviously the big deal. I mean, come on.
From what I heard, this is like a Peanuts mania was going on because the comic was huge, and so people like the specials are kind of made with the expectation like people already know these comics, so like the joke is it's a build up is like what's gonna happen. Charlie Brown is not gonna kick that football.
Yes,
and it's like it is a fun build up, and like they even like have a because like these are some smart ass kids who think they're adults. So like they even do like something sophisticated, like she shows Charlie Brown a signed document of saying she's going.
It claimed to be signed. Document.
Yeah, no, it's signed. She showed him it's signed. It wasn't notarized.
Ah, it wasn't notarized. There we go. Yeah.
So it was signed. It was a signed document, and it looks official and it legit.
Right.
And Charlie Brown was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna kick the ball this time. And like, nope, he doesn't. He lands on his back, fucking breaks his neck, and it's like, signed documents gotta be notarized, dumbass.
Yeah.
It's like the most iconic gag. If you think of Charlie Brown, you think of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think that strip I think that strip used to come around like every fall when football season starts. That's how people know it's football season. And like a lot of. There's a lot of parodies of it. The most recent one I've seen of it is because another show that has DNA from Charlie Brown, mostly visually, is The Loud House. And a lot of people compared the art style, the comic book art style.
I never connected The Loud House to Peanuts at all.
Huh?
I never connected The Loud House to Peanuts at all for some reason.
In terms of the comic book style it's going to, it's close to it.
Yeah,
and not in terms of
style, but
visual.
For some reason, I never ever tied. It's weird. I never tied it to it.
Yeah, it's visually though.
Yeah.
But it's close to Peanuts to the point where they just fucking did the football, a recreation of the football gag too. And it's like okay, I'm sure they felt obligated to do it because they've been getting comparisons for a while.
Right. Nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, if there's one thing you're going to be inspired by a great thing.
How old is The Loud House? I feel like it's been
2017.
10 years. Okay, it's not 10 years yet. It feels like it's been already.
It's been 5 plus, which is long.
Okay, half a decade.
I remember when that thing had been around. I remember when that was new, obviously. And it was like, wow, Nick is throwing this out here. We thought there would be a new resurgence.
Oh, you loved it when it was new. I watched it. I was like, oh, it's pretty good. It's alright.
It's great. Yeah, I thought it was great. I think it's still great. I just lost my, it's like time. Time flies.
I think it's I think it's a fine show. I think it's just like it's cheesy.
Yeah, I feel like it would. It's one of those shows that would line up perfectly if Nick was still really centered on animation, and I think that it's one of those great ones that would have been great. Would have been perfect for a lineup when you think about Nickelodeon at the beginning of the 2000s when they had all those different cartoons. That would have been a perfect one alongside those where it's like, here's another one with a different take. It's just that it sucks that it's lonely with almost nothing else to counteract it except for the same reruns of SpongeBob and shit like that. I know there's other animation now more recently, but at the time it felt like, oh, there's not a lot out there except for TMNT and SpongeBob.
That was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, I think we're wrapping up. I think the seasons have changed. I think, I hope you guys had a very fun time with, let me do this again. Hope you guys had a very fun time with our episode, our holiday special, our Halloween special of Cartoon Chat. One of them. And we're going to try and, we'll see how this goes, but we're going to try and ping-pong ourselves around to other specials with other people, and we'll see how that works. We're not going to say how far in the past this was recorded, but we hope that this was worthy for you now. So, guys, again, you can find Cartoon Chat on the ScreenBlast podcast. You can find so many other content related to animation on the ScreenBlast podcast. We just did a review. If you're looking for another sort of Halloween-themed review, sort of zombie-related, we dropped a review of Zom 100, which is an anime that is fresh. It's worth checking out, and check out our review of the first 4 episodes. And
we'll review Five Nights at Freddy's. Well, probably after Halloween, honestly.
Yeah, you'll hear that after the fact, but still, we'll
try to do some October-y thing.
We'll do some October-y thing, and you might even get a video game topic related to. If you see it, it'll probably be linked somewhere around here. And also, I'll just add it in probably in dialogue. So, guys, thanks for listening, and as always, stay tuned for more.
Logging out, everybody.